Do you know how Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop works? If you do, then probably you are a creative. And if you are working in the creative field, then my next question is, do you know, if you know how these programs work, do you also know how your mental program works? And I'm asking that because I know that within creative industries, a lot of people who work there are very sensitive. And I've been coaching people in this industry for over 2 decades. And I've come across so many people who are very talented and very skilled, and they see beauty in places that other people can't. And they can bring things to the front that nobody have thought of. And I think that's a beautiful quality, and that's because they are highly sensitive. But at the same time, their sensitivity is like a superpower. It is, for many people, also their downfall. Because this sensitivity also creates a lot of stress, a lot of self-doubt, thinking, am I doing things right? Is this good enough? A negative inner voice saying, you should have done that differently. Or, oh, I'm thinking back of this conversation I had yesterday and I should have changed what I said. And apparently your inner voice sounds like it has been smoking too much. and maybe you hear this and think, oh, actually that is me. If you do, then I call that a sensitive pirate. So I would say, hey, sensitive pirate. I see a lot of sensitive pirates, and these sensitive pirates, next to their creative power, they also have this creative struggle going on, where they always feel they're chasing time, where it's never good enough, where they never really can relax and really just wander about, because they are kind of torn between deadlines and their private life, and that's so tiring. It's so incredibly tired. If you're watching this still, then I think you might be a sensitive pirate, and I really want to ask you, aren't you tired? And also, isn't it tiring to always deal with this inner critic? To always feel that somewhere someone could see that you're an imposter? Where you feel that you never really have time to creatively just experiment and explore in a kind of innocent way, that you always have to perform? And it's really wearing you out? Yeah, I know that because I am also a sensitive pirate. And I learned how to do my mental programming. Actually, I do that much better than Photoshop or Illustrator. And why I'm here telling you this is that I know that a lot of creatives have tried things. You maybe have tried yoga, meditation, positive self-talk, or time management. And these things can be useful, but they're not specifically crafted for creatives. And so they might work for a couple of weeks, but then after a while it wears out. And then you're back to where you were. And the most horrible thing is that I know that a lot of people started to think after a while, oh, maybe this is just how I am. I just need to deal with this. And I think this is really devastating, because that would mean that you would then have to go on and live like this in the future as well. And a lot of people think, yeah, but in the future, then someday I will have time. Well, when will that be? Why can't it be right now? Because if right now you are not in charge of your mental program, then why would you think that that would happen in the future? Because what would your life be like in the future if you would keep on going like this in 5 years? What would be the effect of all this stress? Not just on yourself, but also on your loved ones. And what if you could flip that around and learn in a quite simple, actually, and very fun way to feel calm and shush your inner voice, because that doesn't sound good anyway, right? Then you would have so much more time and so much more energy. So I'm saying this because I know what it feels like, and it's not your fault. Like in regular education, there is hardly any attention to the person behind the creative. So you do learn all the programs and all the skills, but you don't really learn how to navigate yourself. And I found this so frustrating that I found my own way to flip this around and to make my sensitivity, instead of a burden, to make it into a superpower. And the more I started to do that, the more time and energy I also had to learn about new ways to do that, to learn new skills, to also bring that to an audience. So in COVID time, that was the first time I did my creative strategies for sensitive pirates course as a kind of gift to the creative community to help people overcome their stress. And that was such a success that we have been doing this now every year since that time, now helping hundreds of creatives to balance their stress, to really become the director of their mental program, to not just have life overcome you, but really to be in life and to direct your own life. And so I still feel very passionate about this because I still see so many people struggle with this, and it is not necessary. And this is another thing that I think happens, is that a lot of creatives also kind of hide behind it. Like they say, well, yeah, but you know, I'm so sensitive and I can't really deal with all of that. And they just hide. But this is your life. Like, you can decide to be fully present in your life, or you can decide to hide. So you could say like, oh yeah, I heard about this mental programming, but you know, I don't have time for that. But that's just like knowing that you have tools like Adobe, but then saying, no, but I just rather like make a drawing and photocopy it or fax it. And so it's really up to you, of course. I just want to say I'm doing a free webinar on turning your sensitivity into your superpower. This is the 10th of April at 4:30 PM CEST. Just have a look in the caption. And if you put pirate in the comments, then you'll get an invitation to join this free webinar, where in this webinar we will actively do a session together to really understand how this mental programming works and how you can already start to use that from that day on for yourself, and how you can see why this works and the thing that you have tried do not work, because this is specifically crafted for creatives, and that's why it works. So that's it, guys. Let me know if you want to join. Bye.